It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then. This is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still the weekend, you fucking go.
It is Monday. What is it? December 26th, the last Monday of 2022, y'all. I know some of y'all are going to really, that's going to hit different later when you really let that
It's the
process of
last
plan
Monday
your
we
head.
got.
Last Monday
Every
of
day this week will be the last one.
Yeah. So I want everybody to know that myself, the man to the other side of me there, the one and only, the great talent. First and foremost, we want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in each and every Monday, allowing us to motivate y'all to get through your weeks, dropping whatever jewels and nuggets we could drop to kind of help you, move and maneuver your spaces, whatever those spaces and challenges may be. But more importantly, thank you for just giving us the energy, giving us a platform, giving us ears to bend, and more importantly, just being there and showing up week in and week out. Because without you guys, we and this gentleman here would not be motivated to do this every week. So first and foremost, like I said, I want to thank each and every one of you. To all of our main listeners, and you know who you are, super, super shout out to each and every one of y'all. I want to say this. I hope you guys have had a happy holiday. And even better, I hope you're going to have a healthy and prosperous new year. Please look for those two things, make those a priority in your life, and allow yourself to do great things. With that having been said, we're going to do like we always do. I'll start off first, man. Listen, I'm out here on the left coast in case you haven't figured it out yet. And to simply put it this way, I creeped out of town on Thursday night, which was dope. Didn't have too many issues with my flight. It delayed maybe about 4 hours. I was okay with that because it still allowed me to get out. I know the East Coast has been hit by a super, super cold front. So to each and every one of y'all out there, I hope y'all are dressed warm. I hope y'all are enjoying and staying, healthy and staying safe. And I hope the holidays went absolutely phenomenal for you. My holidays was great. So far, so good. I'm looking forward to closing out this week and the year on a high. And like I said, I couldn't do that without each and every one of y'all. With that having been said, I'm going to check in with my co-host and see how his holiday was and see how his weekend went. T, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey man, first of all, God bless you, Amir. Happy holidays. I got, what's funny? Even though I didn't get to where I was going at the end of the day, for the actual Christmas day, I got everything I always wanted these past holidays. Like, I've become blessed to be burdened with a lot of work, and that's a positive thing in my line of work, man. So to the point that, I'd super look forward to that day or two during around Thanksgiving or Christmas time. This year, Thanksgiving didn't work out for me, had to work. But Christmas, I said, you know what? I'm going to make sure I got that Sunday and, hopefully that Saturday, Sunday, Monday off and go to Charlotte to see my sister and family in Eastham. Couldn't happen, bro. Couldn't happen because the flight situation, in case you've been sleeping under a rock, we are under a severe thunderstorm watch, snowstorm watch, and rainstorm and ice storm across the country. Depending on geographically where you sit and where you reside, you're feeling some sort of, it could be the wind, could be the chill factor. Like I said, could be all those other things I named. So I remember Saturday, I'm trying Christmas Eve, trying to fly down to Charlotte. And it ain't happening due to the weather. This is the crazy thing. Normally you could see an airport, it looked crazy. It didn't look crazy at all. It looked normal. It looked very normal. So by perception, you're like, oh, I ain't gonna have no problem with this flight. But it had nothing to do with what it looked like in the airport, how crowded it was. It had to do with the friendly skies, or it's not so friendly this year, this time of year. So yeah, they canceled, I think it was 4,000 or 5,000 flights. Now just comes across my message board, another 3,600 flights have been canceled today. So, and they mentioned being Dallas based, so that's Southwest, that's American Airlines, those are their hubs. So you can imagine for Southwest, that's 230 a flight, bro. Like,
Yeah.
imagine you got all these flights that go out today, and then 2/3 of them shit, you just gotta swap them. We ain't doing that shit today. Like, my prayers to all the people that's caught up in the real thick of things, because here where we are in New York, we're good money. We had about 3 days of real brick ass cold. But like I said, we got the chill factor. Very little bit of rain, but as far as the snow, the ice, and all that other crazy stuff, we're good money over here. But almost 40 people so far have died during these storms,
Oh my
especially
goodness.
the
Wow.
northeast one here in New York. I said 40, and 30 of them is up in Buffalo and West New York. Um,
Wow.
so prayers out to those families. Everybody be safe. If you're going through it, our good, friend Quincy Morris, my partner in crime, he's part of it because Buffalo got
Mm.
hit so damn hard, bro. His power's out. He's in a hotel for we don't know how long yet, but he just checked in the hotel yesterday, so he's in there so he can have some heat, try to stay alive
Wow.
because all those buildings, especially if you moved into a modern building, this is why technology. I always say sometimes like don't rush. I feel like sometimes we're rushing with technology, right? And what happens with haste, you get waste. Is like you will forget that little thing. Like his business, for instance, everything's electrical, state of the art, fly shit. Though you like, oh, whoa, right? As soon as you go in there, but guess what? Whoever built it, dude, you built this building in Buffalo. What's the fail safe for when a
In
storm knocks out
case.
the power? Because they can't go in and out the door. The door's electric. The lock ain't no key. It's just the electric. Everything's electric. So the heat, the gas, the light, everything's out.
Wow.
So prayers to everybody up there doing the damn thing, man. Yeah, but my weekend, so I was quiet, got to sit there, man, and here was the good thing. I tried for about 8 hours at the airport, right? This how I know we spoiled as Americans. So I got stuck. Where did I get stuck? I got stuck the Sunday before. The plan was to come home, fly home, Aldo's birthday, right? All the team was going over his crib in Queens. And I said, you know what? It's your birthday. Ain't no need for you to cook. I'm gonna order Sammy's, get a bunch of fucking seafood from Sammy's, and on our way out of this part, across the bridge, pick the Sammy's up, bring the food, watch football. We good money. That was the day of the World Cup championship, by the way. So I'm stuck. Like weather, that's crazy. Can't get back. I'm stuck, right? So I missed that. So now here we go. Now trying to go the other way, get stuck. So this is what I say to myself. I said, you know what? I looked at my watch because I start. The only reason I know I've been there a long time, physically, I could put up with it. But those nights where I didn't sleep a lot, and then you do that shit, like that should catch up to you. So I'm like in real time, like I ain't had no drink or nothing. Why I'm so. I looked at my watch and said, Negro, you've been in there 9 hours from 5 this morning. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit. I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going. Because even if I go, I'm going to be no good. I'm going to blow that day trying to catch up with the rest or whatever. I'm like, once you got tonight, I'm like, I'm going to go. But then I hit Sammy's on my phone. Said, fuck that. I missed Sammy's last time. Get me some Sammy's on the way home. So I ordered Sammy's right when I'm going to get in my Uber go home. That motherfucker Sammy's met me at the house. You heard? And that's what I called it the next morning, Amir. I saved part of the food for the next day on purpose so I could have crab
Yes.
legs on Christmas, nigga.
Yes, sir. Look, there was nothing like the pre-gaming, the pre-planning, and doing all the simple things, man. This holiday in particular, especially probably with it being the second one where we kind of, came out of our shells a little bit and were able to get back and be around family, be around friends, and be around loved ones and all of those things. And you and I have been more than talking about that more so than any other time, and especially this year in particular. But it just felt good, or it feels good. I have to, say kudos and props to everybody. I'm never going to do this because this just ain't me. But for each and every one of y'all who did the pajamas pictures yesterday, as talent likes to do, I hate them damn pictures, y'all. Y'all be wanting to crap on everybody so bad.
Yo,
But I
what?
get it.
Who started this bullshit, bro?
I don't know, see. But I'm like, really, y'all? We are matching pajamas, and y'all think that this is a go in terms of what we want to do for the holiday? But okay, like I said, It's a way of showing love to each other. It's a way of y'all showing solidarity and how much you care to be in and around each other. So I got to give y'all kudos and props for that. For everybody who got the gifts and things that they wanted, also, big shout outs to that. I say this, humbly. Like I said, my holiday was absolutely incredible. I'm not a gift person like that. I'm one of those people who believes that if you see something for somebody who's a part of your life and a part of your world, I don't care what day it is, what time of the year it is. If you can afford it and you can get it to that person, then that's what you should do. I don't believe that you should wait till this specific day or that specific day. I think what makes life great is those moments that you don't expect. So if you had the opportunity to get your guy a pair of shoes or a hat or a belt or something that he always had his eye on, and it's freaking April 7th, then get it. Drop it off. Same for you fellas out there. If you got a chance to get your lady whatever, she likes, she wants a Birkin bag or whatever, and you can get it and it's May 3rd. Get it. Like, what are y'all waiting for? Just do stuff to show each other how much you care. Right. I will add this to the mix because since I've been, out here, I had the opportunity, and I don't know if you had the opportunity yet. If you haven't had the opportunity to see this Best Man, The Last Joint, son, this shit is off the chain.
Is it Best good? I hear people talking about it, but nobody's like giving it a criticism. They're just like, yo, you watching it? So
it's really good. I think it's really good because to me, even to what we're talking about on Motivational Monday, I think it touches on every form of relationship that you could possibly think of. And when I say every form of relationship, I mean how men act and respond, how women act and respond, how relationships do and don't go together, how two people could be in a relationship and not even be on the same page because they're in their own spaces. But I think that they did an absolutely phenomenal job with this TV series or whatever they did. Incredible.
So the Best Man, the last episodes on Paramount Plus, I believe. Everybody check them out. You heard it here. We always dropping jewels on stuff to watch in case you miss it or whatever. And I'm definitely gonna do that. You just gave me a project, so I'm gonna finish that. Is it all up or is it?
Yeah, it's all up. It's all up. You can watch them bang. It's about 10, 15 episodes. But I mean, you ain't gonna want to miss any of them because they keep coming to you back to back to back. You're like, oh, wait a minute, let me get the popcorn. Wait a minute, this just got good. Everything. And in case y'all don't know, one of my favorite actresses is Regina Hall. But I love her because to me, she's the quintessential version of all around the way girl. She cuss you out, but make you feel like she also got hands, so you don't really want to go back at her. So
yeah, she's come a long way, man.
Yeah,
good for her. Kudos to her for sticking to it. So we've been touching on, since we're on the topic of the holidays and all this stuff. We started a couple of weeks touching on how this could work in reverse for some people. Now, this is supposed to be a jolly time of the year. Everybody gets extra happy, maybe a little extra generous, and you're looking to do something for somebody. You know what I mean? Me, myself, I don't know if I told the story about the sweaters. I tell you about these little ass sweaters I got in the mail, and it's 6 sweaters, beautiful cardigan zip-ups. And
nice.
I just thought I was going to be doing something, bro. And ordered 3X, 4X for safety, because some of these just run small. That didn't help me. The 4X was a medium. I was like, who? I think they made these shits and shipped them from the Keebler house. So anyway, what I end up doing, because I'm not big on really returning shit, I've always been like that. That's why I tried. That's why online is so sketchy to me, shop wise, because I like to go see my shit, know what I want, grab it, keep it moving. When I gotta fucking take something back, I'm feeling a little way. I'm feeling a little way now. All right, so that right there. So I get these sweaters, 6 of them, because every flavor they had, I liked it that much. And when they came and I seen the size thing, I told my boy Rick, and we sit in the bar. Now we sizing up dudes we drink with at the bar, like who can wear these shit, right? So I end up giving them also. People unexpectedly got, that's 6 people right there just getting some Christmas stuff. They didn't know what was coming or whatever. So that worked out like that. But we went into a whole thing talking about being, on our P's and Q's, avoiding depression, cutting down on stress, doing the things that can help us cut down on it. Some people think you can't, But I firmly know for a fact you can if you figure out the origin of a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then you nip it from the origin. It ain't no different than people you hang around with. Decipher who the fucking troublemakers are, who your real haters are, even though they're your friend clique. But that motherfucker's a cancer to you. That's the person that now. First thing where you got to start. When I say start with the origin, start with you. Remember
Yes.
how fucking dope you are. Remember how dope you are, right? Start with you. Know how grateful you are to be here another day, another year, another holiday. I watched this thing where these people who had adopted these African kids, and these kids had so little and went to that. I mean, they're living outside of Georgia somewhere with nice house and everything. Like they're just amazed by every little thing, from the car wash, nigga, to the comfy couch, to the cushion carpet, to the dogs, the backyard. I mean, they just everything's amazing because they come from nothing. We got
Mhm.
to revert back to that. We
Yes.
we don't look at ourselves like that, and a lot of times that's to our own detriment. Be grateful because a lot of people ain't here. I just want to shout out a few people that we lost in the year 2022. Just now, recently, Franco Harris is gone from the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes. Yes.
You know, Franco Harris no longer with us, age 72. Um, Died overnight in his sleep. But that was a Hall of Fame NFL football player. Ronnie Hillman, another Super Bowl winning running back for the Denver Broncos, died on the 21st. He was only 31 years old.
Wow.
Some strange cancer, a strain of cancer. We lost him. We lost, what's that, Terry Hall, the lead singer of Engine 2. So many people passed away. I'm trying to see it. Young brother, one of the most popular ones over the last week and a half, 2 weeks, is the brother DJ Twitch from the Ellen
Yes.
DeGeneres show. Here's a brother that all we know of him is just dancing and happy and teaching people and moving along and doing what he's got to do. Paul Silas, an NBA great, died at the age of 79. Don't forget we lost him. Um, Actress Christy Alley's no longer with us from Cheers.
Yes.
She was one of my favorites. Like
Well, yeah.
Cheers, like she
Yeah.
was a beast. Exactly. Quentin Oliver Lee died, a Broadway actor, only 34 years old, stage 4 colon cancer. Wow. Dorothy Pittman Hughes, the co-founder of prominent feminist publication Ms. Magazine.
Mm.
She's gone. Gaylord Perry, Baseball Hall of Famer as well. This is my man. He was a Brad William Heineke. Was a you got to Google his name. Brad William Heineke. Look at his face. You can be, oh, because he played in so much stuff. No longer with us, man. Irene Cara, Academy
Yes.
Award winner.
Yes.
Academy Award winner. Um, Cecilia, they call her Sissy Marshall. That's the late wife. I mean, the wife of the late Supreme Court Justice Thurgood Marshall. Wife passed away. She was 94. And then the list goes on. I'm just naming a few. But my point with naming those people is they not here.
Yes.
We no longer here. We're here for as long as we're supposed to be, to do the job we're supposed to do. I personally, you have to find your own journey and what you think that is. Now, people always say pursue the happiness and figure out what life is about. I figured out both for me. I can't do it for anybody else, unfortunately. If I could do it for my kids, in a heartbeat. Unfortunately, they're
Yes.
individuals and they're going to have to do that too. They're going to have to come to a land of fruition like I did. I know the pursuit of happiness for me is indeed happiness. So once I got my happy bubble years ago, I made it a constant effort and a constant agreement with myself that I'm not messing that up
Yeah.
because I remember way too much years of when I wasn't happy. So because I can remember that still, like it's yesterday, I go way out of my way. Every little thing. Don't I give chances. I help you. I do all I can, but it's only far you can go before it's like,
Before.
this is infringing on that happiness bubble. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes. You know, it's so amazing that you started with that. ideology in particular because I, feel the same way. What's crazy about it, T? I'm starting to wonder, is that something that goes along with the fact that now at this stage of our lives, we've been through certain moments, had certain things happen. So for us, you understand what happiness looks like, and it's amazing how it's not what people think. Because generally speaking, most of us attach our happiness to material things. Most of us attach our happiness to another person. Most of us attach our happiness to things that are outside of us. The main thing that I hope you guys take away from this particular part of our talk today is this: happiness is an inside job. It's not an outside job, it's an inside job. And the reason why I know it's an inside job is because once you start to really take stock of who you are, something that Talent touched on a moment ago when he said, knowing who you are and understanding that and moving in that energy and moving in that space, it takes on a whole different movement for you, because then what starts to happen is as you move out amongst the world, the people and things that are attracted to you and your energy in particular, they start showing up like you wouldn't believe. And they show up in numbers. Like it's gonna scare you because you're gonna be like, oh my God, all these people, and where did all this come from? It came from you figuring out that you figured out what your purpose is, you figured out who you are, and more importantly, you've decided to let me share it in a way that makes sense to me. So many of y'all run around day in and day out. You're trying to do things perfectly, trying to do things with a specific, I need this to mean something. I need for people to feel this. I need for people to understand it. You just need to go ahead and do it. Let the world figure that part out. Because in all fairness, there is no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as pursuit of anything. There's only getting up every day, being present in what's happening here and now, and drinking it in every single bit of it. Because once this moment is over, it's over. Tal and I started this show by saying to y'all, this is the last Monday of 2022. So that means there won't be another Monday for 2022 ever to come around again. So that's why you got to really start to drink in each and every moment, all the stuff that you get a chance to experience: sunrises, sunsets, birds, flowers,
Absolutely.
whatever. You got to drink it all in. If you in places, even I know, like you said, it's been cold. So, in the places where it snowed and, so forth and so on, you got to think about that. You got to take that in. You got to say to yourself, wow, I got the ability to, see and look at snow and really embrace this, because the opportunities for these things to happen, they only gonna come around one time. You'll get newer versions of it, but a lot of things only happen absolutely one time. And I'm really starting to take stock of that. And that's what this year has taught me in particular. Take hold and take stock of everything that's happening around you and drink it in. Sometimes it's not going to taste as good as you'd like it to taste, but that's
Right.
okay too.
Sometimes it's
Just
not
being
gonna be a
real.
little bitter. Just look at it like niggas in the hood making Kool-Aid. Everybody can make Kool-Aid, even though it's just two ingredients and water. It's water. You put two ingredients in it: sugar and the powder,
And
and boom, that's it. So
it's true.
it ain't gonna taste. Ain't gonna taste the same for everybody. Shout out to our president and vice president, Joe Biden and Kamala. They were on social media doing some nice shout
Mm.
outs for Kwanzaa. How about that? I don't,
Okay.
how
Okay.
about that? I don't know if with the exception of Barack, I don't know if we had a president fucking
President.
Kwanzaa though. You
Yeah.
heard?
No.
See what I'm
That's a
saying?
beautiful thing.
It's an oxymoron too, though. How the fuck you gonna raise all the prices and shit and then celebrate Kwanzaa where you just gotta make shit? So you raise the prices for us Christians, us Santa Claus motherfuckers, and you good because you Kwanzaa, son of a bitch. That's ass backwards, Mr. and Mrs. Presidents. No, but shout out to them. That's some dope shit to be doing. And here's the thing, man. Still speaking on the holidays, is once you figure out that thing, like I go back to what I say, the pursuit or whatever that is. I call it happy bubble because it's not just you. You're moving. There's a circle that you're engulfed in. So the circle's bigger than you. And you're in that circle. So happy bubble to me is a description of not just me, but the stuff around me. It makes sense. You know, it's like this
Yeah.
circle.
Mhm.
Shit. It's like there's a circle. That's your little immediate universe. You know what I mean? Your immediate surroundings, whatever. And as you move, the circle changes because you're moving geographically in a lot of places, but there's still a circle around you. So you have to navigate with those places you actually moving around in that they fit your pedigree and level of life that you're living in.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I grew
Mhm.
up, yeah, I'm right there, close to all the thugs, whatever the case may be, and always gonna have love for them because I'll never forget where I came from. However, there's a lot of spots I'm not going into because if it pop off, the first thing anybody gonna think is, well, why are you going in?
Why was you there?
It's always popping
It-
up. Like, why he going
it-
in? Like, what do you, as a grown man, what do you have left to prove? I told a nigga, remember this. I said this to you before. I think you was hanging out one night because it amazes me. I'm at a level now. Here I am, 31, going on 32 years of comedy. I swear to God, I kid you not. Up until probably the pandemic or right before, I've had total control over my comedy and my comments, my comedic comics. You know, whatever I say, you know, whatever comes out of my mouth, I have total control of it. I'm finding now that I do not. So I be saying some slick shit sometimes because it's here. I didn't mean for it to come here. It did, right? So I'm in the bar the other night. Funny that shit. I didn't think it was funny to after the shit happened because this guy, he's looking at me. I'm sitting down at a table that I normally, you know, my bar. So we
Yeah.
know
Mhm.
the bar. But we're on the
Yeah.
low tables this night because it's kind of crowded. We don't care. We come in and get a little drink after Tina cooked dinner.
Chill
So
out. Mhm.
we're just out a little. So dude at the next table, there's three of us at this table, me, Rick, and my man comes in there, and there's another two people on the table. So like, I see how my peripheral nigga kind of just keep looking at me, right? I'm just playing up, whatever, whatever. So then the nigga goes to me. Yo, what's your name, fam? I said, Talent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said, yo, you don't remember me? I said, motherfucker, you ain't even remember me. Nigga, I'm thinking this shit, and that shit came out. And the nigga said, nah, it ain't like that. I said, nigga, don't put the pressure on me to remember you when you didn't even fucking know me. You had to ask me who because right after that, man, he going in because we all from the small town, Mount Vernon. So, man, you remember, we fam, and da, da, da. I said, man, you're a funny motherfucker, bro. You just asked me who I am. I know
Who
who I
I
am.
am.
I just helped you out. And you gonna try to flip it on me like I ain't shit because I don't remember him. I said, don't do that shit. I said, nigga, you didn't remember me. That nigga started laughing. And in my mind, I'm like, I did not want to say that. I was gonna in my mind, I was gonna act this shit out and hey, yeah, you
And
know.
just,
I was gonna do the bullshit. I was gonna do the bullshit. I knew I was gonna do the bullshit, but I have no control of this shit no more. So what I thought said boom, like I was on fucking stage, had to come back at the nigga, right? Dude, fucking Rick and them were crying, we laughing. And you know, I didn't come to this fucking revelation till probably almost a year ago, like that.
okay.
That I'm here now in
Ain't
this.
like that.
But my point is,
So,
so back to the holiday shit. I just thought that was funny. We got to watch our words because words mean something,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And the words are they coincide with the shit I was just talking about, moving the bubble, your circle, and staying in the realm to keep you happy and keep your peace and all these things. Well, your words in there too, because see what happens is sometimes we can use the wrong words in the wrong volume, and it transcends through the line of the circle bubble you have, and then it bring negativity inside.
Yes.
Because you said
Yes.
some shit. You said some
Yes.
shit, and somebody who wasn't
That
even in that circumference, wasn't in that bubble, it clicked to it.
it resonated. Yep.
Right, you could be fucking around with a cocaine. Here come this nigga, cocaine. You fucking
You
around, but you done said some shit that brought some elements that you didn't want inside that bubble.
you know what, T? You know, you again, you hit the nail on the head with that one. It is very, very important to understand that beyond, your train of thought, the things that you express also help shape your reality. Now I know, a lot of times we crack jokes. Me and T be on here, we cracking jokes and it's undertones and funny stuff.
Right.
But to us, we both, have grown up, like I said, in a situation and in a world in particular where, to me, we've had to probably laugh more times than we wanted to cry. So a lot of it comes from our surroundings. A lot of it comes from the upbringing. I look back on our childhoods, and I know T's and mine's are similar in the fact we both grew up in the projects. Yes, might have been
Yes.
different, parts of the Bronx, but the point is, when you grow up in the projects, in particular, you have to either have tough skin, know how to fight,
Fact.
or know how to run, or know how to run. Those three survival skills are paramount, growing up where we've come from. But if you have a combination of all of them, or if you transcend all of them, and that happens on very rare occasions, you're a sports star. So then cats in the neighborhood don't mess with you because they like, yo, that cat's a sports star. We see it in him. We know there's great things in his future. Or like talent, he's just a great wordsmith, and he's able to, say things and be funny, and that transcends. Me, I happen to be the peacemaker in my neighborhood. I was the dude that everybody came to, like, yo, let's take it to the court of Amir. He'll give us, a fair trial and, put everything in perspective for everybody. So you figured, and it's funny because you said this earlier, you figure out, early on. I think some of us figure out things about ourselves that we just don't want to embrace for whatever reason. And it's okay, because everything comes in time. The reason why I'm, phrasing it that way is because it comes with time. As you get older and you start to really look back over your life, and you start to really play those moments in slow motion, because in real time, they happen in too fast. But when you're playing back in slow motion, meaning you think about, wow, I resolved this issue for this group of people at this time. Damn, then I was over here and did the same thing. Then you start to realize exactly who you are and what your superpower is, if you will. And the superpower means it's just what you do that nobody else, maybe in your circle or nobody else in your bubble, to a point that T made, does. And that's why you're in that bubble. That's why you have people in that circle, because your specific skill set is for this part of what the life journey called life is about, for those people. And that's what makes you so dope. So I just encourage everybody. Words, like you said, have power. Like I said, they create and they tear down. If you think I'm lying, everybody, we hear it all the time. Self-talk is so important. The reason why self-talk is so important is because if you're telling yourself crazy stuff, chances are you're starting to manifest that self, because the universe, God, whatever your higher power, higher being,
Right.
doesn't differentiate. It just hears whatever you say or whatever you're thinking, and it moves towards it. So I just encourage everybody, as always, be mindful of what your thoughts are. Be mindful of the things that you say to yourself. And more importantly, just know that, like I said, doing something kind for someone else and being kind, there's no shame in that. Now, obviously, I always, preface that by saying, don't let anybody abuse you, because that's not what any of us are here for either. You're supposed to help your fellow man or woman as best you can, but you ain't supposed to let people just run all over you and do stuff that is not conducive to who you are, or makes you look like some kind of idiot in some way, shape, or form. Don't do that for anybody. I don't give a damn who it is, friend, family, or foe. That's a no-brainer. But again, just encourage you. Know that every day you pray, you look for the things that make life beautiful for you, because what may be beautiful to you may not be beautiful to somebody else, and that's okay. We got to get a better handle and learn how to agree to disagree. So many of y'all, oh, I don't rock with this person, I don't rock with that person because they don't think like I think. You need some people to challenge your trains of thought sometimes. You
That's
know
a
why?
fact. That's a fact.
Because if you keep thinking the same way, you keep moving the same way, then you keep getting the same results. And usually, that comfort zone in which you're in, there is nothing to be gained there. This man can tell you. If comedy, I'm sure, doesn't teach you anything else, it teaches you how to get out of that comfort zone, because once you're out of that comfort zone, that's where all the real power and that's where all the real dope stuff happens. Whether it's playing clubs that you're not familiar with, because you know what it's like to talk to your people, but it's a whole different thing when you start talking to people of different colors, different ethnicities, different walks of life, because now you got to find that commonality. Now you have to figure out what kind of keeps us all together or makes us the same but different all at the same time. Again, I encourage you, pick and choose your friends wisely. Pick and choose the people you're around wisely, because Those people help you create, I'm telling you, an amazing experience called life. And I'm thankful for this brother here in particular. You know, I give T his flowers all the time, especially when we're doing these shows. I thank him. I thank him. I thank him because the man has put me in spaces and places and around people who speak my name, maybe sometimes in beautiful ways and maybe sometimes not in beautiful ways, but they speak in it, whom I never thought would speak my name. So I can't tell y'all and can't encourage y'all enough. Understand that these moments, these people, these things that you're manifesting, embrace them. Be happy about them. Think of how dope like you said, that you really are. I know some of y'all don't believe it because you've
Yeah.
been told all your life this, that, and the third. Don't worry about what other people think. They don't got a handle on their life. So why you listening to people who don't got a handle on their life, telling you how great you not?
That's a
You
fact.
can't,
And
you
you know what's
can't.
funny, man? It was funny. You just mentioned some shit that the light bulb went off when you said, to those who don't grasp or reach back and really take on the concept of how dope they are. Um, a lot of that shit sometimes, man, comes from. I go right back to careful who's in your bubble, in your circle, because a lot of that comes from somebody very close to you, and people are not everybody, but people sometimes have a warped definition of the same reality you're thinking about. Meaning, you got a relationship. Sometimes this comes in relationships where that your significant other is the culprit of slowing you down or stagnating you or whatever, or just making you forget your worth. Sometimes it comes from that because that's their way of keeping you. I'm gonna keep you because I see it all the time. You know, I see it with these unbalanced, seemingly physically seemingly unbalanced unions and relationships. Meaning, like, you ever look at people and they just don't, you just can't see it. You're like, how the hell is these two motherfuckers together, right? Either I don't know that you think the woman's way less attractive for the type of handsome dude he is, or you think the dude is way too ugly or fucked up looking for the beauty of the girl. Well, either way, you're just trying to put it together physically, right? And a lot of that time comes from, and this goes back to when the pimping days were big, right? They had to do a lot of mental work
Yes.
on the female's mind to get them to do that shit for real, for real. They had to do a hell of a fucking number. So I say that to say, in real relationships, everyday relationships, somebody in there can be doing a number on the other person, which in turn, fast forward, 6 months, a year, 6 years, whatever, that person don't see themselves how you see them. The person don't even value or see themselves like the surrounding people and people looking from the outside in. You looking from the outside like, oh, it's a dope motherfucker. But the person's like, not really. I'm not dope. And you got to ask yourself, how did they get all the way there? You know what I mean? How did you get there? It's one thing to get a little bit here, but how you get way over there to the part you don't even see your own dopeness no more.
You
A
know,
lot
so
of times that comes from the people. That's why people that you connect with, it's very, I'm going to use a fucked up analogy, but you got to understand. As a man, you'll understand. Women somewhere in the world will be offended, but I give two fucks about it. It's like what they say about a blowjob. The popular conspiracy thought of the blowjob is if a woman sucks your dick and you come from that shit, she took a part of your soul. You heard that before, right?
mhm,
Anytime you lose a part of your soul, whatever,
yeah,
it's that deep. It's that deep. This is a special way that I'm getting you. They always say suck the soul out of you, shit like that. So if that's the case, isn't that kind of similar to the relationship, the toxic relationship shit I'm talking about? That person that's spending their time and energy to solely suck the life out of you, so to speak. It's not an orgasm, but it's still doing the same thing. It's depleting the energy.
yeah.
How about you, nigga? I bust off, I lay down. I need to hold on a second.
I gotta, I might
I'll
have to.
take the garbage out in a minute. Fuck. Whatever it is. So that's the same thing to that negative person that knows how to get in here, do a hell of a fucking number in there, and have you walking around jacked up, not knowing or believing or even acting out who you really are.
You know, it's so crazy, T. Like that's such a powerful train of thought. The understanding or lack thereof, to your point, of knowing who you are and what you should do in order to maintain that. Now, I say this all the time. First and foremost, like you said, you got to identify who you are, meaning truly understand what your value is, what you bring to the table. But then after you do that, I suggest that you find things, whether they be people, places, sayings, music, whatever it is, that you pour into yourself on a constant basis. I love the fact that we have the ability to utilize all these apps now for various things. You know, TikTok, we can't get enough of the dancing, and you know, people messing some of the dances up. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sometimes I spend hours just laughing at some of the creativity and some of the odd stuff that you people come up with. I'm not even gonna lie. But by the same token, I'm also on there listening to incredibly well said stories that are, you know, in snippets, meaning people who get on there and maybe they're coaches and they're talking to a group of young men, a group of young women, and they're inspiring them by saying, hey, if you're playing it safe, you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing your team members a disservice. Now, a lot of us, you know, tend to believe that, you know, again, I'm not on any team. Yes, you are. You're on the team of life. And the people in your bubble or the people in your circle, those are some of your team members. Now, you may or may not be at the same levels that they are. However, there's something to be said for being able to find your level of peace, your level of comfort, and what makes you happy. Because even some of the greatest people who we've seen and we've experienced, not only this year, but in the last few years, who, you know, say that if you're not at this level, you're not making seven figures or this or that or the third, you're not happy, you're not doing anything with your life. And then we see a ton of those people who are taking their lives. So is it being in seven figures, having those things? Or is it understanding that, again, true peace and happiness comes from within and figuring out what makes you happy, what makes your soul be at ease and be at peace? A lot of the relationships that we speak on, like you said, men and women, part of the reason why most of us can't get past or be happy is because y'all are looking for somebody to add to, as opposed to somebody who just is a part of. I'll say that again. Most of y'all are looking for somebody to add to, as opposed to looking for somebody who is a part of, which means when somebody adds something to it, that means that's an outside force. They had to come in, they had to build on it, had to make it work, figure out how it fit in. When you add to, it means things were already smooth. That is simulated into the lane. Like, you know how you ever merge into traffic, for those of you who know
Right.
how to drive?
Right.
And you, merge right in. It's a smooth transition. Everybody's moving and shaking. But when you add to, this person just came into the lane, crashed, and made three cars flip over before they actually got into the what you call it. None of that is ever good. But we don't look at life like that. We are been so led to believe that, you know, somebody's supposed to come in and do stuff that's supposed to put you in this space. No, they ain't supposed to do anything. You are in total charge of every facet and aspect of your life. I don't care what it is. And I know some of y'all are going to be like, oh my God, when I watch this later, he was saying, I'm telling you the truth. No man or woman makes you great or makes you whole, ever. You make yourself whole, and then they just, again, add to it by coming in and going, oh my God, I realize you have all of these wonderful qualities and all this beautiful stuff. And the only thing that I want to do is add my little part to it so that we can continuously move on this pathway and still be great. But so many of us have been taught to believe that, no, you got to find somebody who is bringing this and that to the table. And I keep looking at these tables, and I want y'all to understand it, because I mean this again humbly. I want y'all to look at these tables, whether it's the red talk table. Y'all see how that's y'all see how that's turned out. I can't make this stuff up, because one of the most famous pictures of a table, you know which one I'm gonna allude to, because it's the holidays. You've seen Jesus and all them people at that table. Then you have to start looking at some of them dudes sideways. So
literally, they in a picture like this.
So you understand what I'm saying? So that's why I said it's amazing to me how we see things, but we don't see them because we really won't take the time to, oh my God, let me process this. Don't just take something that everybody says and make it so calming to yourself, make it seem so smooth, whatever. You got to break it down so that it makes sense in your head, so that it really plays out the way that you want it to play out for you, because then you have to take that and implement it into what you do. And you can't allow somebody else's implementation of something to be what you go with, because that's not your implementation. That's usually why people fail, because they are so used to allowing somebody else to tell them, hey man, this is you. No, that's not me. I saw this true story. I saw one of my boys who I've, kind of been hanging around lately. I think he's closer to 60, T. Apparently he was playing basketball yesterday or something. So I saw he put up a post today. Yeah, I spent the Christmas Eve in the ER. I was trying. Sir, if you didn't kill him in your 20s, let it go. This 60 is not the time for you to still be trying to impress dudes with your basketball skill set. You see Michael Jordan's retired. I don't know why y'all don't know why Father Time is not undefeated. It is proven time and time again. I don't know how and why y'all can't see that. And I don't mean to not still have a love and affinity for things that you love. That's not what I'm saying. But some of y'all kill me with this still trying to do stuff that you know it ain't even in your wheelhouse no more.
Be physically smarter.
Thank you, T. Thank you. You understand what I'm saying? But it amazes me because son, I had to show them young boys. Son, you now have a fractured hip. What did you show them? How to get old and be messed up? Like, what are you doing?
Hilarious. I had to show
them. We just can't get it together when it comes to these kinds of things. But again, I say all this to say, again, understand your power, understand who you are, understand what you bring to the table. Know that in doing what you do, it has an impact on.
Oh, I guess we lost him or something. That's Amir. He probably will bleep back in. As soon as he comes back in, I guess we'll jump right to the jewel of the day. But like he said, man, just we can't stress it enough. We've been trying to tell people for Mondays on end, and this is why we come on Mondays. So if 7 days is enough time for you to forget, here we go, popping back up in your goddamn life 7 days later to remind your monkey ass how dope you are. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let him finish right here because it is time for the jewel of the day anyway. Let's go.
Hey everybody, it is the close of 2022. Y'all know I've been preaching all year, but I'm going to say it again, especially now as we close out this week and close out 2022. I just need y'all to do a couple of things real quick. First and foremost, take stock of self. And I mean take stock of self. I don't mean just take stock of all the good stuff that you did this year and all the beautiful things that happened. Take stock of some of the bad stuff. Take a moment to allow yourself to really look at what you have done, good, bad, and indifferent, and then allow yourself to make the necessary adjustments to improve on said things. Some of it you may have to delete and absolutely throw away. So if you thought that ideology from 2022 going into 2023, it probably isn't, which means you need to truly take whatever that is and throw it out. Do yourself a favor. Take a good hard look at your ideologies, things that you believe that you hold as core values. See if they still are core values that you need now in this time, at this moment. And if they're not, get rid of them, update them, whatever it takes. But please don't be that person who I hear run into and you're telling me the same stuff that you've been telling me for the last 5, 7, 10 years. Because I'm going to look at you crazy and I'm going to go, really? We still doing this? You're in your 50s now for some of y'all. After you get past a certain age, you get to a certain stage, you got to start being honest with your number one player You.
That's
But
not being
don't
honest with
leave
the
that.
number one question.
Don't leave that on the kids. Don't leave that on your significant other. You got to be honest with you. If you know there are things that you really need to get in shape or put in order, get them in shape, put them in order. And if there are things in your wheelhouse that you're not great with, you have a bubble, you have a team, you have people. Reach out to your team. Stop being so prideful that you think to yourself, yo, if I share this, it's going to make me look this way and make me feel that way. Who cares? You know what makes you look crazy? When we get to certain spaces and certain times in our lives and we realize that we didn't do the things that we could have and should have done. And we had people who would have helped us do them. But because of our pride, I'm too prideful, we didn't
Right.
get it done. Don't do that. Please don't be that person. But more importantly, it's the close of this year, the start of a new year. Do yourself that favor, get things in order, be happy, enjoy your life. We got one shot at this, y'all. You can say what you want. I don't care what your religious beliefs are. If you think you come back as a cat or toad or freaking grasshopper, bless your heart. But I'm telling you, you got one shot. So with this one shot, take it and make it as great as you can possibly make it, because that's what this life is about. I love you as always. You know my saying, it's nice to be important, but it's much more important to be nice. Live your life right. Do the right thing.
Yo, that's Amir, the jewel of the week, we call it now. Fuck the day. That shit got to last you a whole week. I'm sitting here listening to you and at the same time watching these footage of like all of this aftermath of a storm and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And some of this shit, bro, is so crazy. I don't know if you've seen that video that went viral as soon as the Buffalo Bills played in Chicago.
Okay.
And then they had to come back home. So wherever they parked their cars at, they had the video of motherfuckers coming back trying to find their car. And when I say trying to
No.
find, because that's how high the snow is.
Snow.
It's
Wow.
completely covering little trucks like Jeep Cherokees and shit
And
like
all
that.
that.
They drive. And I'm like, so somebody's filming this shit and they digging it out and everything. Man, fuck that car right now.
Yo,
Like,
thank you.
I'll
Thank
come
you,
back to
Chief.
that shit. Like, I just want to get to a safe place, hunker the fuck down. Whatever I got to do is the city of Buffalo. Your next game is 7 days away. Uh, I'm sure they're going to excuse you for half of that shit to clean things up because the highway, you couldn't even get 90, goes across Buffalo, Rochester, all day. And that was like some of my plans next week. I was going to go see Quincy for a little while or whatever, leave Rochester, my show Thursday. But because of that, I got to postpone the show and can't get in and out. Let them stay out of the way. Let them do all the work they got to do to get this thing back up, people's power back on, and all that stuff. I think that's one of our problems too. To be real with you, one of our big problems is staying the fuck out the way.
Yes.
A lot of
Yes.
us have a problem with. That's one of my favorite slang greetings, if you will. Like we got all these shits, that we say, "Yo, what's good? Chilling, ain't nothing, can't call it." All that shit. My favorite shit is what you staying out the way, man. Because that's me all day. I do what the fuck I'm supposed to do and gotta do, and I try to stay the fuck out of the way. Nigga, motherfuckers gotta call me. Like I got attitude. The nigga way on that side of the bar called me. I gotta get up and go over. I sat here for a fucking reason, bro. I gotta get up,
Go
while we over there, and it don't be shit. Yo, tell this nigga, man, we went to school. I'm like, did you send this nigga already? Yeah, he don't believe me. Well, you couldn't send this nigga to me over there. I gotta come over. Bottom line is, my point is, a lot of us have a problem with staying out of the way.
Yeah.
And technically, you really shouldn't. It should be the way of things. We're here to take care of us and ours, right? We're here to help who needs help. That's the thing. See, the only time when you don't stay, in the way, is when somebody needs you to be there. it's not on you just because you have these people that can't, their noses in every fucking thing but the cocaine. You know what I mean? So you have to learn to pick and choose, when should I dive in or when should I not? A lot of time women got a problem. Like, the women overhear a conversation and put their
So,
motherfucking 2 cents in it, nigga, right away. Like, girl, I couldn't help it, but overhearing, fuck that nigga. You need to da 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 da. Let that lady turn to you, give her the opportunity to go, hey, excuse me, let me ask you something. Or I need to help. Hey, what's your opinion on this? What should I do? Leave that option. Stop jumping over the option button to put your 2 cents in something that may or may not fucking want you there. You don't know because you didn't let them ask you. You took the option away. You just jumped in. Let me tell you how I would. Stay the fuck out of the way. I'm a fucking pro at staying out the way. I stay out of the way so much niggas get mad. Where the fuck did you go? Out of the way.
T, you know what's so crazy? Two things you touched on. First off, and this goes for men too, because we tend to do this as men sometimes too. Overhear your boys talk about something, you got to stick your 2 cents in, sir. You didn't hear the whole story. You heard the part that triggered you, because we talk about that often. Same for you ladies. You heard the part that triggered you. Stop. That's your trigger. That may not be that person's trigger. That might not even be that person's concern.
Hello.
The part of the story that they need you to, focus on, to T's point, they will then explain and or ask your opinion on that point. And please, all of us, do yourselves a favor. Don't always take everything so literal unless somebody tells you, no, this is exactly what I mean by said whatever. Because there are always gray areas to everything. It just is, whether you
Yeah.
like it or not. But no, I take everything literal. Why? Life isn't literal all the time. Sometimes there's gray stuff. There's interesting factors that you just didn't even see, going to be there or even show up. But because of that, then give yourself the opportunity to try to look at the situation from all sides. I always like in life now that we're a little bit older, and some of y'all can relate to this if you know what it is, to a Rubik's Cube. When Rubik's Cube came out to you and we were
Right.
trying to figure out how you resolve that bad boy, but you had to look around at all the sides.
All this crazy shit. Yeah.
But that's how y'all should be looking at life. But so many of y'all look at the one side that you got facing you and forget that there's all these other sides that also require some ideology, or at least some, oh snap, let me factor that in. So please, again, do yourself a favor, learn how to factor those things in. Learn how to be the kind of person or the kind of people who give benefit of the doubt and allow yourself to look at the whole entire picture, not just the part that interests you. I get that. It's a bigger picture. That's the one thing that life is. It's always a bigger picture. Yes, right now, the spotlight happens to be on you, but like any great show, you have your moment, 15 minutes of fame, or however they word that now. And then we get back to our regularly scheduled programming. And because of that, guess what happens with the regularly scheduled programming? Everybody else and all the other characters come back into play. So work on those things, y'all. Try to implement those things in your life. You'll alleviate a lot of drama and a lot of craziness that you find yourself having. Oh, damn, I got to explain myself. I got to tell somebody how I was wrong and how I shouldn't have did or said A, B, C, and D. Yeah, because you jumped the gun.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean,
half Perry.
that's what we're gonna end y'all on tonight, and let people marinate on that part right there. Staying out of the way sometimes. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, whether you mean it or not, you don't want to be the fuel that ignites the next level of mayhem, of where it's going to go, especially if it's going to a negative area. You don't want to be that thing. Like, that person was just sitting there mulling it over. And then you came in, talked 10 minutes about what you would have did and how you felt about it, what they should do, whatever. Next thing you know, we're reading these fucking crazy ass news stories. Baby daddy goes in and kills the baby mother, and all of those shits. I guarantee you, if you just rewind back, you know what I'm saying? It's like what you just said. Like, man, You didn't even hear the whole story. You heard the part that triggered you. I used to
Yeah.
have this joke. Reminds me of this joke I had about. There was a video that went viral in the news. They was all over this lady for whooping her kid's ass, like in the back of the back of the car, whatever kid, it was unheard of. And it was a white woman. Oh my gosh, she whooping the kid, whatever. So I went on, obviously talking about current events on stage a few times. We're bringing up people like, yeah, and I'm like, shit. And I start comparing it to when ass whoopers was in.
Okay.
And I said, here's my thing. Everybody's in an uproar. Oh my God, he's whooping this kid's ass. I'm over there like, well, hold on. Before I pass judgment, what the fuck did this little bad motherfucker do? What did this kid do? Fuck the smack. Show me the tape before the smack. What warranted this little ass whooping in this car, whatever the case may be? So, before we get to that conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, this has been Motivation Monday. And if ain't nothing stuck with you, trust me, let's do some house cleaning. It's the holidays. We pushing away from depression. We pushing away from stress. And more important, the word of the day is toxic. We're evading and avoiding toxic areas, all toxic areas. We're evading right? We're getting away from it. We're evading it.
Facts.
We're avoiding it. We're not trying to be near it. We're not trying to let it into that positive circle of life that we work so hard to get here. I don't know about you. I work very hard just to get right to this very little spot right here. I'm feeling real good in it. I can't. My mother said, "Don't let you in."
Yeah.
You can't talk to strangers. All that good shit.
True story.
Quiet, people. That's Amir Silly. I'm your boy, Talon Harris, producer, Prophet Pete. This has been Motivation Monday. Spread the word. Help somebody out there. Peace, y'all. We love y'all.
It's Monday, cocksuckers, and you better come prepared because they don't fuck around on Monday. Monday, most people come in, I had such a great weekend. Oh my God, go fuck yourself. That was then, this is now, bitch. It's a whole new set of rules. It's Monday. If you ain't waking up with the taste of blood in your fucking mouth like a shark 5 feet from the shore, you fucked up. You understand? Because Monday is when you go, everybody else is like, still